Hello, everybody. Hello. How goes the Sunday? Hope it was a good one as it's winding down, or on its way to winding down. Or if you're across the Pacific Ocean and it's Tuesday for you. Wherever you are in the world, hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe, doing what you need to do. So, today we actually finish Heavensward. I was going to do that yesterday. I may have underestimated how big 3.4 is, like how much just gets put on you, and honestly, how much it sets up Shadowbringers. But anyway, finish Heavensward today. I see no universe where that does not happen. Of course. I heard the hopping and I was like, who's hopping on my iCam? Oh. One day I'll do your Beast Tribe quests, and apparently one of you gets set on fire. It's going to be the best thing to ever watch. Permanent music is so good. So let's get started, shall we? Off to the donuts. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn my AC down a tick. It got real hot real quick. It's 9 quests to get there, so let's go. Ah, Lakis, just a hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? I need you to meet me at the Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. Okay. It's a bit overwhelming, quite frankly, having spent so much time on the road, often by myself. Yet I will try to approach this as a learning experience as I did my travels. Had I not kept an open mind after all, I doubt I would have been able to master the ethereal blade, nor would I have benefited from rather pointed advice I received. There is no one path, as some are given to say, and there is wisdom in exploring every school of magic, as there is an exploration of all things. Mr. Ochre Boulder? Believe me, I know all too well the burden is a precocious sibling. We should trade tales over a drink sometime, or perhaps even with the 4 of us. But I have a precious sibling too, and I'm sure she'd be happy to join us. Oh, as if you wouldn't try to get rid of me at the first opportunity. Don't you drag me into this mess. Walking away. Walking away. Nope. I'm a patch ahead. Oh. Close enough. Sorry to drag you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. Right, everyone. Ready to go to work? No squirming now. Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. Death by Lalafell. There, all finished. The Warrior of Light's every measurement, from heroic head to intrepid toe. What the hell did you do to me? Well, wouldn't you like to know? All in good time, Linkus. All in good time. Aha! Found you! Alphino wants everyone in the Solar for a meeting. I don't know what it's about, but he seemed to think it was very important. Go on, we have everything we need. No sense of keeping everyone waiting.
We're here. Did we miss anything?
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Orianger has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Yes, but for what exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphino, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Thank you, Alisaie. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention. And while I stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Is that all? Oh, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
Yeah, but the Crystal Braves kinda happened.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention. As my tenure as commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
Should none of our number step forward? Must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede he might struggle to balance his new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Sancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations. Have we not become sufficiently familiar with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Oh my goodness! Help! I need some help here!
Tataru, are you all right?
Me? I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Narco! God, how did... Yashola! Please, you have to help her.
Kral, a hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
Now, we've staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again. Though having seen your wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all.
Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Alamegan Resistance. I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Aye, and on no easy target. He means to assault Belsar's wall from the Alamegan side.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Alamigo, to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
His plan is flawed. Even should the Resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I shall depart for Limsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours. Alphino and Alize, make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She will duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive. You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emmerich and encourage him to send an envoy.
Yep.
Tataru, Kryl, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
I suspect the ill tidings from Girabania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end. The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice. 'Twas Master Louis Soir himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied. And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice, as you will yours.
It's not foreboding at all. Off we go. Greetings, warrior of light. What business brings you to Ishgard? We need your help. Stuff's about to go down in Baelsar's Wall. See. Wait here. I will summon Sir Emmerich. It is good to see you, my friend. It is but a pity I must be under such circumstances. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of your suit, I would certainly have sent for some wine. What's the business? I thank you for bringing these developments in Alamega to our attention. Ishgard will of course send an envoy to attend the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make. Not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may forego the formalities of a full assembly, but I will still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? Yeah, sure. Do what you gotta do, buddy. I thank you. Our representative, whomever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Henlu that he is the lead in your absence. Yes, Lord Commander. Linkus, pray accompany Lucia to the Gates of Judgment and make ready to depart for Gridania. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury speed you on your way. If you have no other business in the city, join me at the Gates of Judgment. We must be ready to depart the instant the envoy arrives. I thought we waited on this side. Yes, I should have poured it over. Oh well. Crossing the steps? Yes. After they should have been, in theory, like absolutely obliterated by 2 dragon attacks. If you are perhaps wondering who will represent Ishgard at the council, as this is a military matter, I should not be surprised if Sir Emmerich nominated himself. He is yet Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, after all. It's going to be Emmerich. Hey, how about that? We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as Ishgard's envoy. Not, I concede, that there is ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction any military cooperation. Be that as it may, I could not, in good conscience, make the decision alone, not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I would see that the garrison is ready to defend the border. Yeah, no problem. Garrison Commander waits within. Why not accompany me, Lucas? You may see a familiar face. Is it a picture on the wall, perhaps? Oh, you put this idiot in charge? Lucas, old boy! How wonderful to see you! And Sir Emmerich, too! To what do I owe these unexpected pleasures? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you'll excuse. Nay, do not trouble yourself, Honorway. We shall soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary, if you will. Yes, Lord Commander. See, shit's happened at Balesar's Wall. We held a meeting to discuss what to do about it. And that's it. The villains hardly need to excuse the rage war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as breathing to a god... to an Imperial. And thus we shall strengthen our patrols as you suggest. We shall also be able to communicate these developments to Lord Francel in the Observatorium. So you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. Surprised to see yours truly at the helm? Actually, yeah. You and me both, old boy. I doubt I'll ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt, and with a little help from the veterans, and Honor's ceaseless childing, I'm sure I'll muddle through. So worry not, old boy. Off to Gridania with you. Okay. Diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now, as when I first laid eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. Yeah, you could say that. Seems so peaceful. One would scarce believe that Balesar's Wall and wretched Alamigo lie but a few short moms away. You say nothing. It seems we are to have an escort to the Lotus Stand. Pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yeah. Yes, of course. 'Tis like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? Skill. The envoy for Mishkan has arrived. Very good. This way if you... and the Lamentin party as well. I had hoped to slip in unnoticed, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Emmerich. Admiral, always a pleasure. And Linkus, I trust you are well. 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. Master Linkus, I was glad to hear from Rio that the missing scions have now been found. Yep, they have. There is much more I would discuss with you, but let us first attend to the issue at hand, shall we?
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. And the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies labored to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people too would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed? Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift. There is much to be done.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defences seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
Smile. That the Council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is a heartening development in itself. I only hope my misgivings prove unfounded. Ah, good. You have yet to depart. I feared I had missed you. Sir Emric. Master Alphino, a pleasure as always. And Mr. Salazar, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption. I had hoped to thank Ligas for serving as our escort before other duties called him away. I also wish to thank our Doman ally. Forgive me, my lord. I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join your conversation, and force of habit made me keep to the shadows. No apologies are necessary, Mistress Shugiri. I was most grateful for your interjection when I offered Ishgard support. My nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance pleas for aid is a matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were it not for your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the Elder Seedseer to accept us both. I very much appreciated the gesture. I only did my duty, Sir Emric. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. full glad we ought to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. Whatever is wrong with a simple sorry or thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? That is how we adults speak, dear sister. Mayhap the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We shall be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to Riven's Toll, Yagiri? Actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I am curious to know how Papa Limo and Ida fared in their talks with the Sylphs, not to mention what has been going on at Belsar's Wall. I will join you at the Rising Stones anon. Even now, I am astonished by how closely Mistress Alizé resembles Master Alphino. Their very mannerisms are alike. From a distance, I should be hard-pressed to tell one from the other. Until they open their mouths, of course. Well, welcome back, Linkus. I don't know about you, but I am heartily glad that all of the talking is over. I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics. Yeah. As said, people have been known to change. If my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. I'm also still surprised Rising Stones is split into 3 separate instances, or zones. You are returned from the council. And what of Alphino? Did some other matter require his attention? Mine apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Cryo, how's Nago doing? She will be alright, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru is keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I am certain she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now, mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision. Each of the nations, Ishgard included, has committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance. Ida, you cannot seriously. One does not lightly go to war with the Gallian Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there was some way to reach the Griffin, some means to convince him to abandon his reckless course. It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Belsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo, which may equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want, I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. as are mine. It's been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kryel and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you Leviers? I will return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worse, it would seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Linkus? Gridania will be safer for your presence. And, while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask that you remain in the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on? To hold the fort, you mean? Very well. I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. Benching Alizé. Brave move, Cotton. See how it works out. I suspect Tataru would have little trouble facilitating communication between our forces under normal circumstances, but I can see she has her hands full nursing that resistance fighter back to health. No matter, my turn in the field will come. Taking it quite well. If you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray attend to it now. I will depart for the Hawthorne Hut without delay. The nearby watchtower offers an unobstructed view of Balsal's Wall, and I should be interested to speak to the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves as a stop. I am no ninja, but I did spend some full moons in the Sharlayan homeland, learning how to move unseen. Between Yugiri and my humble self, Ida and Papa Lima will be well protected. My fellow shinobi required little encouragement to take their place amongst the Alliance forces massing in Gridania. They are most eager to cross blades with the armies of Garlemald once more. I may perhaps have exaggerated my standing with the Resistance a little, but I am confident that I have a reasonable chance of putting a stop to this madness before the events spiral out of control. Yes, fair to middling at the very least. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't be the worst thing if we ended up joining the Griffin's fight against the Empire. I mean, it's going to happen sooner or later, isn't it? About 6 quests it will. There you go. Ah, Linkus, there you are. Come. Amar Issa's spire awaits. The Alliance officers on the platform should be able to apprise us of any developments at the wall. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We were about to set forth. Indeed, I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alphino. We'll have the Griffin by the scruff of his neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary a moment ago, you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So which is it to be? Which would be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papa Limo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. I think I feel a headache coming on. Let us be on our way, shall we? Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our Alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Yep, let's go. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you are here to speak with our commanding officers. We will find them on the observation platform. Pray, proceed. Greetings, my friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I dragged half the watch here, see? And the sight of you might help remind them why we bothered. If memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say what an honor it is to stand at your side. Yeah, they kind of drop you twice, because you got tagged. 'Tis heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. Yeah, I had to say it. Report! What? 7 hells. Fighting has broken out at the top of the wall. A full-scale assault. So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has. And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible! We gave no such order. Of course. The war was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We have been goaded in deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to his deception. If those uniforms are convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we've lost an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance accompanying the Griffin's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin supporters to slip into Alamigo. He could then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, could be plunged into chaos. Linkus, we must make for the wall at once. Yep. What? Just the 2 of you? Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin, and if we can do that... Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? Ha! I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. Forward, comrades! The time has come to deliver the Empire from Alamigo, and force action upon those who have turned their backs to our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. One could say the situation has become sloppy. Hit next, not Z. From what Papa Limu told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straightaways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way, but the time for subtlety is past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through the griffin. Make him see reason, by any means necessary. Yep. Once we are free of the tunnels, we will make for your position with all due haste, and if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us all away to safety. I only pray that we have enough time. There it is. Yeah, we are not doing chocobo races. That was earlier. Marking the border between the Black Shroud and Girabanya, the legacy of Gaius van Belsar is a towering monument to imperial tyranny, and now smoke rises from its iron crenellations. In a bid to drag the armies of Eorzea into the struggle for the Alamegan liberation, the Griffin and his resistance fighters have disguised themselves in Grand Company uniforms and laid siege to Belsar's wall. While Alphonse seeks to call your companions back from their now meaningless mission of diplomacy, you must ascend the war-torn fortification by the swiftest route possible and persuade the Griffin, by force if necessary, to abandon his reckless ambition. Well, while I sit in the queue, I will take a short break. I'll flip on the BRB screen and yeah, be right back, and hopefully I don't miss the queue. Don't go anywhere, folks. See you soon. Alright folks, I'm back. It seems no queue yet, so it does give me a chance to do that. Apparently unpopular at 6 o'clock. Average wait time is 6 minutes, and I already got 7 minutes. So it's going to be another deal where it was with Samal, where we're waiting forever and a day for a healer. Yeah, what to do? So I will do what I did last time and do summoner things. Apparently this is a hunt train. I should probably do that, but eh. Come here, you little shit. Also forgot to talk about it. One person in. Shrieky. There it goes. This was a good instance back then. Alright. skipping because we didn't know how the Sentry Jammer worked. Oh, Torga the Dragoon. Oh. I should wait. Well, hello there. Elbird.
How'd you like this? Sloppy. I'll tear you limb from limb. Yeah. Sloppy. Hurrah, amigo! I have you now. Yeah. Yeah.
Did it. Thank you.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
These two.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea. They die that others may live.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
Or you have a wooden shield.
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
Gods help us! What are we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Rolger, grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are.
As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Wasn't about that.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand. You truly are a sheltered child, Leverrier.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Alamigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power!
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
This light, is it...
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
Ah, Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Tipsamati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalimo! I know how that spell works.
It is time to leave.
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go. The further away, the better.
No! If you're staying, then so am I.
No, Ida. There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here. Not like this. Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
All right, buddy.
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Papa Limo is my friend. I should have been there with him. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing and what had to be done. Master Louis Soir wore that same look right before the end. Do you think I don't know that? I know, all right? I know. There is nothing more you could have done. No bird caught us all off guard. Even Linkus was powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Papa Limo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on. Go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. It's over, Papa Limo. It's all over. Leave her be. Nothing you can say will console her now. Every Ishgardian gets taught that the Sea of Clouds turns in the grip of the warring elements of water and wind, enough to tear you apart, they say. No one's ever gone to the bottom of the abyss and lived to tell the tale. So how did that bastard manage to get his hands on Nidhogg's eyes? It has been explained to me that what light signifies, and I have ordered our forces to stand ready. It seems we can do little else but wait. I understand only too well the desire to reclaim one's homeland, but I cannot condone such slaughter. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray, make your way there at once. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Why does everyone look so grim? Has something happened? Say something, for heaven's sake. You can say something happened, alright. What seem be being ill tidings, brother? Aye. Behind the Griffin's Mosque, we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilberd. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on. And Papa Limo's kind of dead. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, and as I am certain Papa Limo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the sea of clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind-aspected ether rages. No mortals could endure such conditions. Mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Cryle, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it then. What? Without so much as a by your leave? Pray forgive Archon Ystolo her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with this grievous loss in my own way. By thy leave, Lady Alice, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. My own grief is a crushing weight upon my heart, and when I think of what Ida must be feeling, Papalymo's sacrifice cannot be in vain. We will find a means to deal with this primal. All I want to do is weep, but right now we need to hold back the tears and do what must be done. Linkus, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning we still have no idea how long it will be before. Communication from the Alliance. One moment. This is 3.55, I believe. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the primal, of course, and if Ystolo's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seedseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Good gods, man! Are you all right?
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Oh, go Setsu. You stubborn bastard. Welcome, warrior plight. This way, if you please.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken.
So this guy does have his voice.
After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon. Of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment.
Well,
Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanau since the Allegans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I am graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allegans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartanau while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allegans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
I mean, he's got pretty good points.
He makes me grind my teeth is what he does. But I suppose we don't have much of a choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Carteneau and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Carteneau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Oh, those two. Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among them how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alize is already on her way, and it will not do for lag too far behind. Let us be off. I think I'm going to take a second break of the day right there. Get up, refill water, stretch legs, all that good stuff. Implore you folks out there watching do the same. Don't go anywhere, folks. Be right back. Alright folks, we back. You folks took a break, hope it was a good one for you as well. Let's awaken a robot, shall we? Let me just leap down. Nope. Damn you, invisible wall. Move down here, can't I? Nope. Linkus, Alphano. Ready to go? The others have stepped out into the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of that man poking around the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphano. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... Ah, well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set course for Cotonou? Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I'll require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observation ere we proceed. it would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh? I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such a time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alphino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit Ostola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Linkus, pray accompany Alizé back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Yep. Right. Everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. Yeah, I see people talking about Triple Triad. I already got that card. You're traveling with Master Garland, sir. The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Why is it never not glue? What manner of airship has no private cabins? Then again, I suppose Garland had to find somewhere to stow his half-baked inventions. Not even a place to even have a private quarter on that boat. Come on. I do not care for that man. Strange though it may seem, Nero's former loyalties do not trouble me, but I can see why people are loath to lower their guard around him. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in Toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones then? I would like to know, is it always on and it's just locked in that position? Like, how do you stow it? Or whatever the proper word is when you dock something to keep it from floating away. Tie it off, I guess. And you just let it float there and it doesn't move. Alright. I won't question it. We must be careful, old friend. The walking weapons of Allag were expressly designed to subdue primals. But men like Gaius will always seek to use them against mankind. It falls to us to ensure that Omega is never employed as a weapon of war. In the wrong hands, it would be bad. One was created to capture Bahamut, and the other to surpass him. Which will prove the stronger, I wonder? Fear not, I shall keep a close eye on our new ally. I know Nero is a guest here, but we don't exactly have the happiest history with the Empire, do we? So my question to you is, do I offer him tea? Oops.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly. But now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri, you draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
Damn it, Nero. Magus, wait. Can I speak to you for a moment? What you got? Do you remember when I had you meet at the Diamond Forge and we, ambushed you? Yeah. Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work on making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it for you before you left. Here! You can try it on right now if you like. Assuming we measure correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? Look pretty good. You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell if, how much this... Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light is... Well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. May it always protect you. You freaking nerd. How dare he mock the Scions like that? If I ever had to sew a set of traveling clothes for him, I might not forget to take out the pins. Just the 2 unexpected guests then. Still, I suspect that each will prove useful in his own way. My blade shall carve a path through the Empire's ranks as a scythe fells stalks of wheat. Never did I think to hear Gosetsu's voice echo through these halls. Truly, I had no idea domens could be so loud. Here in Yugiri could hardly be more different. Mach 14 thermocoiler boil master? Dear me, how risible must the previous 13 iterations might have been. I could design a more efficient water heater in the time it took that ill-conceived lump to become lukewarm. Oh, I think he's going to fit right in. So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist your stolen cryo. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano expedition party. Nira and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Linkus, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of the security. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. Gosetsu is an accomplished swordsman. Should it come to battle, he will prove a staunch ally. Not that I could say the same for Nero. Soon, Omega, soon. I will see you rise again. Will this contraption truly bear us through the skies? I was a bit lost for a while back there, but I'll be fine. Trust me. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartano before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Aline Royale was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. If Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by this new primal, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight.
Now, where was that? Ah! I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
Of all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Oh, it doesn't start until we go? Alright. I'll stomp these worms into the dust myself. This is my fight, understand? Stay out of it.
An opening.
Tis my right to strike.
This one'll sting.
May have misjudged the enemy.
No retreat.
You should have been standing the
No
soles of my
surrender.
boots by now. Be a fool scarping it. Don't just stand there. The captain is in danger. I have you.
No holding back.
How many soldiers did he bring with him?
Leave this to me.
We will stand against this tide. Surrender! We have you outnumbered. Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Behold, the Red Baron! Now end this nonsense! What the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor! Forward! For the Empire! The honorless curs think to abandon his men? I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions.
It's all over now.
Your defense is lacking.
This one'll sting.
Do you hear? Well, watch out for the big one!
No surrender!
With soul and steel!
You have found a Titan, but that still only counts as one. I will handle these soldiers. Pray, dispose of the rest.
Leave this to me.
Well struck. My thanks, Lucas.
'Tis my right to strike!
No holding back.
An opening.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
The Colossi is scrapping. The captain hits us as often as the enemy. Enough! Time for a tactical withdrawal. Why? You can't just run off. Deserting a battle is punishable with death. I order you to stand your ground. Come back here now. Please? Damn it all to the seventh hell. I'll kill you bastards if it's the last thing I do.
Your defense is lacking.
I have you!
This one'll sting.
No retreat. No surrender.
You haven't seen the last of me. Mark my words. It'll be you who rues this day.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Well, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah?
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
So, how's the wall still standing after it got tsunami'd?
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered the malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalymo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. Excuse me. One moment everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait, we must first... the Elder Seed Seer is expecting us. Worry not, Alphino. Gosutsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. Council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the loaded stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Conjurer's Guild. The Elder Seed Seer awaits you within. The first one here. Another calamity averted, eh? How many times now have you and yours hauled us back from the brink? 'Twould seem Garland's little friend was as good as his word. Had I not instructed you to throw Nidhogg's accursed eyes into the abyss, all of this might have been avoided. I thought them beyond reach. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You are too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega, aye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words can do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain. But I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from the midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set out about each other in the skies over Garabania. The primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics as I have never seen, and hope never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed each landed a fatal blow upon the other. While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the domens were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of Far Eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Garabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force, under the command of Marshal Tarpin, to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border, and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis systems, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would have taken them decades to decipher Omega's core functions if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the resistance of representatives in Garabania. Though Ilbert has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation, and by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrestled from Garlemald's grasp. When the primal emerged, I was for an instant transported back to Cartano, and to the moment the Black Worm made an eighth hell of the battlefield. Gladly would I live out the rest of my days without seeing such a sight again. Ugh. I go to oversee operations at Belsar's Wall. You've done your part. Leave us to handle the initial Imperial reprisal, and rest while you may. Pray accept my humblest and most earnest thanks once again, Warrior of Light. Had Shinryu been suffered to roam free, the Trollswood would surely have been laid waste. This operation to take the wall will be Ishgard's first military action under Alliance banners. Though I have no appetite for bloodshed, a part of me is glad of the chance to begin reparations for our past inaction. If, as seems likely, we put Omega into stasis after, what did they call it? Ah yes, after Shinryu was defeated, we should have little to fear from either one of them. I should very much like to see this Shinryu creature for myself. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour. Ishtola and the others have gathered at Amersa's spire. Armisay's spire. And I imagine that you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on. You would like to see Shinryu. I think the 12. After witnessing Omega's single-minded onslaught, I had visions of you being trapped within it and its target. Hardly the most rational concern, I concede, but if you had seen what I saw... Yeah, we saw it. Through a cutscene. No trace of the cocoon remains. 'Tis as if it never existed.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilberd's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhap she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution.
He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too. And I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
So, why'd you never tell me?
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Though she had scarce begun to come to terms with Papalimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell to Taru and my sister. That is the end of Heaven's Ward. While this plays, I'm going to take my another break, so BRB.
Children of the land, do you hear echoes of truths that once rang clear? Two souls intertwined, one true love they did find, bringing land and heavens near. But flames that burned full bright soon fell dark. Memories dimmed by shadowed hearts. In the waxing gloom did wane the lover's moon, watching as their worlds drift apart. One soul's cry, a passion welling within. Sacrifice, a final plea to her kin. Yet this bond of hope by treachery was broke, scattering her words to the wind. Swelling over long seas of blood are a song, and death an afterthought to those who fight for naught alone, lying children of the land and service. Why must you turn to empty bliss? Tell me why break trust? Why turn the past to dust? Seeking solace in the abyss. Tell me why create a circle none can break? Why must you let go the
Oh, my mic was muted, sorry. All it basically said was, and so the dragon song, Heaven's Lord concludes, and Dragon Song is a damn good song. You should have seen the look on Tataru's face when I recounted Lise. I realized in retrospect that I should have perhaps have waited for you to return. I also told Alice, apologies. Good job, Dingus. You may have mentioned, but Alphino has appraised me of all that came to pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lise has chosen her path, as has her friends. And we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join in the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken to the wall and opened the way to Garabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect do you. Excuse me. Quick march! The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It is almost time, Father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe would dislodge me. Very well, Albert. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Balsal's wall has fallen to the Eosian Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend. Your will be done. Unknown? My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. And now with that, oh, hi crew, staying Graha. Hi guys. If I could repair her, I would, but it is time. Or not. Well, awkward. Kind of dumb you can't. You can't repair a New Game Plus, and you can't glamour inside the Rising Stars. Come on. Come on, it's effectively a city. Let's do a repair. Let's head back. Alright, let's try this again. The Dragoon comes off. And we are now Le Monk. And if I could change glamour plates, I would switch to Samurai. But for some reason, you can't do that here, so... Trailer time. Had to do the thing. Excuse me. And tomorrow, Stormblood adventures begin. Alright folks, once again, thank you very much for hanging out, lurking, chatting, whatever it is you decide to do. Even if you watch the VODs, all means the same to me. Tomorrow, 5:15-ish, give or take, barring anything major schedule changing. We march into Girabanya and begin take the fight to the Empire. Alrighty folks, that'll do it for me tonight. Let's see if certain individuals are still streaming. They are. So, well, the trailer plays again. Let's go to one Marissa, as she is just about ready to jump into Stormblood herself. And she will be doing it blind, so I'll go cheer her on as she makes her way there. And tomorrow, 5:15-ish. Alright folks, have a good night, day, whatever it is you are out there in the world. Stay safe. Hopefully, see you tomorrow as we begin the journey into Stormblood. Take care. Have a good rest of your day, night. Again, stay safe. See you tomorrow.